it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing this video lesson, and today I want to show you how to play 3 fun and easy open string licks. So right now Guitar Control is giving away this really awesome daily practice routine to improve your lead guitar chops. This was put together by our very own Silvio, a two-time Guitar Idol finalist. This routine covers the 4 main concepts that are necessary for lead guitar: alternate picking, legato, sweep picking, and tapping. All the tabs and exercises are all included in this free ebook. There's a link in the description where you can get yours. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. All right, so the first one here, this is actually a riff from Mr. Big's song, Addicted to That Rush. So it's pretty simple to play, and whether you play it slow or fast, it still sounds cool. So this is one that's nice because if you're a beginner and you have to play it slowly, it still sounds really good. So we start off, we rest on the first, we have a half step or half note rest, so we rest on the first 2 beats and then the downbeat of 3, and then on the end of 3 we play the open A string, and then we hammer onto the 3rd fret for the downbeat of 4, and then we pull back off to the open string for the and of 4. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Alright, and then starting on our second measure, you can see it's the beginning of a repeat. So how I do this is I use my middle finger to do that first part. Because then the next thing is we're going to go to the 2nd fret of the G string. I'm going to use my first finger, I'm going to pick that and pull off to the open string. Then I'm going to come up here to the 4th fret of the D string, and I'm using my 3rd finger. Sometimes I'll notice I'll use my 2nd finger, but generally I use my 3rd finger. And we pick that and slide up a half step to the 5th fret. And then we follow that with the open G string. Then we just repeat that, 4, slide, 5, open string. And then on the 3rd measure, we do that again. Whoops. Then we do the slide one more time, and then the open A string, hammer to the 3rd fret, pull back off. And then the whole thing we just repeat. Alright, so when you're practicing this, one of the things that you want to really try to work with is to mute the other strings, because if you just have it, you have all that racket. So I'm muting the lower strings with my palm of my hand here, and we're just kind of picking here in the middle, so I'm using this part of my hand to kind of get the higher strings, and then letting my fingers kind of droop over here. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is another one's pretty easy. So we're going to start off with the open B string, and we're going to do a hammer onto the 3rd fret. Now, I use my 2nd finger here, and I'll explain why in a minute. You could use your 1st finger, but I honestly feel that it's going to be easier if you use your 2nd. So we're going to pick that, hammer, and then follow that with the open high E string. So it's like that's a triplet. So we do that, then starting on the downbeat of 2, we go back to the 3rd fret of the B string, and we're going to pick that and pull to the open string. And then we're going to do the same thing on the high E string. So that's kind of the whole phrase. And then that just repeats. So again, we want to mute these lower strings we're not playing, so just the palm of my hand is taking care of that. Alright, so it does that a few times, and then the last... So the last time, at the very last beat of the 2nd measure of this, you have the 4 yell low, and then starting on the third measure, we're going to go to the third fret of the G string, slide that down, pull off to the second fret of the D string. So. Then we're going to go to the low E string, open, hammer to the third fret, slide to the fourth fret. Then we're going to go to the back to the second fret of the D string, and then finally ending with the open low E string. So this is the reason why I was saying I use my second finger, because you could. I guess you could do it that way, but for me it just feels more natural to use my second finger. So at first you probably just want to break it down and just play just that much of it. And then just practice that. And then you add that other part on, you break that down into. All right, and then finally, the last one. This is I don't know if this is exactly the same thing, but it's very similar to a thing that Slash does at the end of the song My Michelle. So this one's pretty simple. We're going to start off, you're going to put your first finger on the second fret of the G string, and then your third finger onto the fourth fret, and we're going to do the same shape across the G, D, and A string. So we're going to start, we're going to pick 4, pull to 2, and then pull to open. So it's like, that's a triplet. So that's beat 1. And then for beat 2, we're just going to move down to the D string and do the same thing. So that's beats 1 and 2, and then beats 3 and 4 are the same as 1 and 2. So we just go back and forth between the G and the D string. So that's the first measure of it. 1 yell low, 2 yell low, 3 yell low, 4 yell low. And then starting on the second measure, we go back to the G string again, D string, and then the A string, and then we end just on an A chord. So that one's pretty easy to play fast once you get, I mean, if you're brand new to pull-offs, then it might take some work. So that being said, when you're doing this pull-off here, you want to be careful that you don't bend the string. You don't want to get that where you're pulling on the string. So what happens when you go to pull off here, you end up bending the string here. So if this is a new technique, just hold that finger down extra tight. Then you'll get to where you'll have the feel for it. You won't have to hold it down so hard. But at first, that really helps. All right, so there you have it. 3 fun, not too terribly difficult open string licks. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.